Welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity Yoga, and I'm Nancy, and I'm just going to continue with this exercise of answering a question from the jar within a 10-minute time frame. And it's mostly for several reasons that I do this, mostly because I want to practice or keep my speaking skills up, and it is a little thing I learned from Toastmasters to answer an impromptu question within a time frame. So these are pretty big questions, so instead of the usual 1.5 minutes, I'm taking 10 minutes to answer each question. And the questions involve many things, basically how to be better human beings, the being part of the human being, and some people may call it spiritual, how to improve our spirituality. And I want you to be cautious with that word spirituality because we really truly don't understand what that means. It is just one finger pointing to the moon, one word that we use as a marker to explain something that we truly do not yet understand as human beings. Most of us don't anyway. So I'm very cautious with that word, and we tend to connotate a lot of woo-ness to that word rather than see it for what it has the potential of being. So anyway, those are the types of questions I answer, and I try to answer within a 10-minute time frame. I will digress. I will reach in and get a question. Let's see if I can answer this. Oh my, can I even read it? Okay. I hate it when people don't like me. What do I do about that? I hate it when people don't like me. What do I do about that? It's a very good question. Thank you. I'm going to take a deep breath. And I just take that breath. It's a physical cue to tell me to get out of my head, basically, and answer the question from the higher part of me that we all have access to, the wiser part that we all have access to. So anyway, the question was, I don't like it when people... I hate it when people don't like me, and what do I do about it? I hate when people don't like me, and what do I do about it? So we're going to look at the way the person hates the experience of not being liked, and we're going to look at what that means to do something about it. So let's look at the experience of not being liked. I'm sure we've all had that experience before. We as human beings are social animals. We need to have that connectivity of the pack. It's part of our survival mechanism that's inherent in all of us biologically. We feel innately that we need to stay within the pack in order to survive. And that's a biological component that probably still exists in most of us, just as much as that old amygdala that is responsible for our fight response, or our fear response and fight and flight. So we have those components biologically ingrained in us. So it's very natural to want people to like you. So the first thing I want to tell this individual is not to be ashamed of wanting that. Not to be ashamed of wanting others to like you. So it's a very natural experience, okay? The fact that this individual states that they hate it when people do not like them, that to me is just a great deal of resistance. When we do not meet the expectations others have of us, when we feel they do not like us, we feel like we failed in some way, and we have an experience we consider to be a very negative experience, and we have a tendency to hate it. So hate is a very strong word. So I'm getting the understanding from this questioner that this is a very intense experience for them when they have the idea that people don't like them. So I want to look at that not liking them, this people not liking them, or we have to ask the question, is that the truth? Is it the truth that people don't like you? What evidence do you have for the fact that this individual or this group of people do not like you? Is it something that you're projecting outward? Is it an untrue or false belief that you're holding that people don't like you? First of all, question the reality of that statement. Do people really not like you? And of course, we are not going to please everybody, are we? No matter how much we do, how successful we are in life, how nice we are, and how much, because most of us have that people-pleasing instinct in us, I know I do, to please other people. We're never going to be able to be completely successful in that endeavor, because it is almost impossible to please everybody. 8.5 billion people on this planet, right? 8.5 billion people, and we're one of them. We're not going to please everybody. We're not going to please maybe the people we want to please the most, our loved ones, or our bosses, or our coworkers, or, our spiritual leaders, or whatever. We may not please everybody, and we may not please the people that we want to please the most. We may not have everybody liking us. But who are they liking or disliking? Do you know that yet? Are they liking who you really are at your deepest level? Or are they liking this liking or disliking, judging this persona you create, this psyche that you are showing the world with, this masquerading self, as Yogananda would call it, this idea of me you're putting forth into the world? Who is this me you are showing everybody else? Who is this me are you coming to believe that you are? Is it really who you are? So we tend to think in terms of what we can focus on, right? So we spend most of our times focusing on our individual little identities as separate selves, these meanness. And our meanness is built on all the learned events we've had all the things we've stuffed and stored, and all the learned events, memories that we've stuffed and stored inside us. And it's through that which we identify, and it's through that we see the world, and our perception of the world colors how we act, how we behave, what we show others, and what they would in turn judge us to be, someone to like or someone to dislike. So the thing that you feel might not be liked by others is just your psyche, your ego. It is not who you are. You are not your personality, though we tend to over-identify with our personalities just as much as we over-identify with our bodies. Saying, this is who I am, like me. I am this person that had this experience. I'm this person that had that experience. I'm this person that gained this. I went to school for so many years. This is my role. This is who I have in my family. This is what I've done with my life. And that's who we think we are. And that's what we give to other people when they say, who are you? And we say, well, I'm so-and-so, I'm this age, I'm married to this person, I'm a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, I am, I've done this in my life, I've traveled around the world, I've done that. That's who we seem to think we are. But those are just things that we've experienced. Those are just images that we've created, and society, of course, collectively has enhanced as normal thing to do, but it is not who we are, okay? You are not the events you have. You are not the person that climbed Mount Everest. You are the being that watched this body, this mind, as it traveled up the summits of Mount Everest, right? These are just things we've done. It is not who you are. So this individual or these group of people that you deem as not liking you really do not know you, because you have yet to know yourself. So they're just judging your personality. They're judging what you're putting forth as your persona and your ego and your separate little self. They are judging that. And why are they judging that? Because they are operating from their personas, their egos, their separate little ideas of me. They are seeing through all the things that they stuffed and stored over the years through their experiences. They are seeing you through their own roles that they've over-identified with. They are not those roles. And they are not just the psyches that do not like you or like you. They are something deeper. And whatever is inside them that is watching their bodies and their psyches travel around this earth, judging other people whether or not they like them or not, is the same thing that's in you, receiving this idea that they don't like you. So it's like persona against persona, personality against personality, ego against ego, psyche against psyche, separate little me identity against separate little me identity. It is not who we are. So their judgment of you as being liked or not liked really isn't that important. Some people would even call it statistically insignificant. When you consider there's 8.5 billion humans on this planet, many, many, many more other species and beings on this planet, on a planet that takes 1.3 million of to fill the sun, a star which we are rotating around in a small little solar system in a very large galaxy, which is one of trillions of galaxies. Whether or not that person likes you, statistically, is very insignificant, even though it is bothering you so much. So why is it bothering you so much? It's because you're over-identified with your persona. You are looking out to the world for validation to make this thing that you are, which is clouded over by all the experiences you've had and all these identification with these things you think you are. It's clouded over with that. You're seeing through this, what we call in yogic terms, samskara layers, and you are not seeing yourself. So you are not whole. You are not recognizing who you are, which is whole and love and so totally independent of the need for the good opinion of others. Totally independent of the need for the good opinion of others. But you don't see that yet because you're trying to fix what feels uncomfortable inside you. So many of us, because of conditioning, this human conditioning, have grown up with a very deep sense of unworthiness. And it's the subconscious belief that stays in our core. We might not even recognize that it's there, but it will cloud everything we do. We'll be seeking approval from others, trying to people please for most of our lives, getting other people to like us so that we can get rid of the discomfort inside. We erroneously assume that having that person over there like us is going to make us feel better. When they reject us, we erroneously assume that is why we don't feel good inside. It's because I don't have enough people liking me, so I need to get more people to like me. And we may take off on these endeavors of, going onto social media, trying to get all the likes in the world and not feeling valid or worthy until we get, a million likes or a million subscribers, when it has nothing to do whether or not those people like you or dislike you. It has to do, and some people would say in psychology terms, you love on yourself. But you're really you don't want to love your psyche, which you can, it's a start. Have compassion and empathy for their psyche, this separate little me that has the roles and feels this way and thinks this way. By all means, have compassion and love for that. But once you recognize who you are beyond this thinking mind that says, I am this person that has this or did this, to who you truly are, to that which watches this person think that you're this and that because of the roles you've done. This person that's experiencing these other people not liking you. Once you get beyond that and see who you are, you realize there's nothing you need to do about it. You will feel peace and love regardless if others like you or dislike you. You will not swell up, with a big ego head if you get all the likes in the world on your pages. Nor will you cringe in shame and pain when you get a lot of thumbs down on your pages. It won't matter because who you are is beyond all that. But for now, psyche against psyche, recognize that person has been through all types of experiences that I do not understand or see or know. And they are acting through those experiences. They are seeing the world through those experiences. They are seeing me, who I am on the outside in my masquerading self through those experiences. So there's something about this that triggers something that's stuck inside them that is painful or uncomfortable. And yeah, maybe I triggered that. Something this psyche did, something this body looks like, something it reminds them of. And suddenly they have a rising of all their samskaras, which are very uncomfortable, and they're feeling irritated, thinking you were the cause of it. And they therefore do not like you. When really, you had nothing to do with that triggering of those samskaras they stored inside them. That was, not only are you not your psyche, but your psyche's not responsible for triggering somebody else's samskaras. And they are not responsible for triggering you when you feel uncomfortable and you hate when someone doesn't like you. It has nothing to do with the other person. It's what's inside you. So the biggest thing you're going to do then is you're going to turn the direction away from the people that don't like you and look inside yourself. Instead of saying, oh, I hate it when people don't like me, what do I do about it? Ask yourself, why does it bother me that this person doesn't like me? First of all, do I really know they don't like me? And if they do, how significant is that? Then ask, why does it bother me when this person doesn't seem to like me? Why? What is going on in me beyond my psyche, with all these stored samskara layers I've had? Why is it bothering me? What's triggering me? What about that? What is that triggering? That dislike I seem to be getting from another person. What is it triggering in me? Because ultimately it's an internal game. It's all about self-love. You do not trample down the self with self, as the Gita says. You love self with the little s, with the big S. And that big S is who you are, that's inside the body, inside the mind, inside the personality, watching the personality behave, watching the other people around you behave, watching your reaction to the likes and dislikes of other people. That is who you are. And that is where you need to go. And look at this situation from there. You're not going to die without the approval of other people. No. You don't even know if they really like you because they don't know you. They're just reacting to your psyche as your psyche's reacting to theirs. Who you are at the deepest level cannot be harmed. And who they are at the deepest level, maybe they're not aware of that yet. And they cannot yet see through those eyes. And when they do, they will see your true self. And it will be more of a namaste. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. And they'll be doing the same with you. And these psyches, which are just an accumulation of stored events, these false identities we've over-identified with, not who we are. It will not matter if they are liked or disliked. But love them, sure. Honor them, respect them. Find compassion with that ego of yours. See its worthiness. And then go beyond that to see the worthiness of who you truly are. And then it will not matter. I guarantee if people like you or dislike you. Well, that's all I have to say about that. I went way over my time again. Namaste. And really say that. Namaste. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. I'm more than like you. I see your light.